Let me tell you about Dave. Dave was a residential contractor doing $750,000 a year. Solid business, good margins. He was doing kitchens, bathrooms, decks. Then he landed a $3 million commercial job, and it bankrupted him. Now you might be thinking, how does landing a bigger job with good margins destroy your business? That's exactly what we're about to unpack, because this is way more common than you think. According to industry reports, commercial contractors file bankruptcy at 3 times the rate of residential contractors. And right now, TikTok has got people telling each other how commercial construction can change your life. They're right. It can change your life into a living nightmare. And more importantly, I'm showing you the 6 specific mistakes Dave made that you just need to avoid. This is a hypothetical contractor, but it's based on real calls I've had multiple times. And I want to show you how fast someone can go from hero to zero, chasing that commercial dream. Phase 1, the opportunity. Dave's been running a solid residential remodeling business. He's got 2 crews doing kitchens and bathrooms, and he's averaging $40,000 per job. He's making decent money, $250,000 in revenue last year. Took home maybe 60 grand after everything. Not rich, but not broke either. Then he meets a commercial developer at a networking event. Guy's building a mixed-use development. He needs a general contractor to handle the entire build-out. $3 million project. Dave's never done commercial, never managed a project this size, never dealt with these kinds of contracts. But the developer says, easy money, don't worry. You can just sub everything out, you're managing it. And Dave thinks, I know good subs. I've been in construction for 15 years. How hard can it be? So Dave puts together a bid. He calls around his usual subs, plumber, electrician, HVAC guy, gets their numbers, adds 20% markup for himself as the GC, submits the proposal, gets the job. Dave's on cloud 9. The guy's posting on Facebook, excited to announce we just signed a $3 million contract. Big things coming. Family hears about it, they're proud. Buddies are proud. Wife thinks that maybe they can finally take that vacation. Enemies are jealous. Finally made it. Or so he thinks. Enter phase 2. Living the dream life for about 30 days. So Dave signs the contract, gets a $600,000 deposit, hits his bank account. Dave's never seen this much money in his entire life. Pays his subs their deposits, buys some new equipment, and finally upgrades that 10-year-old truck. And yeah, maybe he buys himself a Rolex. Why not? And what Dave doesn't realize, that $600,000, it's already spoken for. It's covering material deposits, subcontractor mobilization, insurance bonding, permits, all the stuff that has happened, that needs to happen before the real work even starts. And here's the kicker. His residential jobs, the ones that paid him in 30 days, he stopped taking those. Why would he mess with a $40,000 bathroom when he's got a $3 million project to manage? So now Dave's all in on this one commercial job. No other cash is coming in. Everything's riding on this. Every single egg in one basket. Phase 3. The slow bleed begins in month 2. Subs are on site, things are moving, progress is happening, then the first change order comes through. The developer wants to upgrade the HVAC system. No problem, we'll send a change order and we'll approve it. So Dave gets a quote from his commercial HVAC sub, additional $80,000. Marks it up 20%, submits it to the developer. Developer approves it, but says the payment will come in the next draw, which is in 60 days. No problem. Dave fronts the money to the HVAC guy to keep the job moving. Can't have the schedule slip. Then another change order, and another. Electrical needs upgrading. Plumbing doesn't match the revised architectural plans. Drywall specs changed. Each one's approved, but payment's always pushed to the next draw. Always next month, always later. Month 3, Dave starts to feel it. His bank account's dropping. The $600,000 deposit, gone. He's now funding everything out of pocket for the next draw. And his subs, they're blowing up his phone. They're saying things like, I need to get paid. I need to pay my guys. It's been 45 days. Where's my money? Dave learns a painful lesson about commercial payments and how they actually work. Not how the contract says they work, how they really work. You see, in residential, it's simple. You finish the bathroom, client writes a check, you pay your subs. Done. 3 days, maybe a week. Everyone's happy. But commercial, it's a chain. And every link in that chain adds time, delays, risk. Dave's electrician is looking at the proposal thinking, hey, it says net 30. Where's my money? But Dave's contract with the developer says he doesn't get paid until net 90. And that clock doesn't even start when Dave's electrician finishes the work. No. Dave's electrician finished work on February 5th. He submits his invoice to Dave on February 15th. Dave submits to the developer on February 20th. Developer approves it on February 28th. Now it's net 90 from February 28th. That electrician isn't getting paid until the end of May, 115 days later, almost 4 months. And Dave's the one stuck in the middle, funding everything, playing bank for everyone. His subs don't want to be the bank. They think the GC or the client should be the bank, but that's not how commercial works. The sub is always the bank, and the GC, he's the bank's bank. Oh wait, it gets worse, because even that 90-day timeline, that's if everything goes perfect, which it never does in reality. Here's some things that can delay a $300,000 payment on a commercial job, for example. Documentation issues, missing lien waivers from subs, incomplete change order paperwork, invoices don't match approved budget line items, no supporting receipts or time cards. And that's just that. Then there's approval delays. Architect hasn't signed off on completed work. Engineer needs to inspect and approve. Building inspector found issues. Work might be corrected first. City permit department could be backlogged, could be a couple of weeks. Then there's the financial holds. Client's bank hasn't released a draw yet. Investor approval required and they're out of town. Client's accounting is reviewing. Then there's project issues. Punch list items aren't completed. Certificate of occupancy is delayed. Final inspection delayed. Weather delayed progress, messing up the entire draw schedule. Then there's legal. Retainage being held 10% until final completion. Dispute over quality of work. Client claiming damages for delays, insurance certificate expired, and here's the kicker. Any one of these issues can push your $300,000 payment by 30, 60, and even 90 additional days. Dave thought net 90, but he'd get paid in 90 days. But he's learning that net 90 says maybe 90 days if nothing goes wrong and the stars aligned and everyone's in a good mood. Meanwhile, his subs need to be paid every week. His line of credit is growing, his personal bank account is draining, and that Rolex on his wrist, it's starting to feel heavy. So Dave does what every contractor does in this situation. He gets a line of credit, $250,000 from the bank. Personal guarantee, puts his house as collateral. Tells his wife, hey, honey, it's fine, it's temporary. The next draw is coming in 30 days. This is just to bridge the gap. Nothing about this is temporary. Because phase 4 is the death. Month 5, Dave's line of credit is maxed out. He's $250,000 deep. The developer is now 2 payment draws behind schedule. Sorry, Dave. Arranging our investor to release funds should be next week. Next week comes, oh, actually, the architect hasn't signed off on the process or the electrical yet. As soon as the week is done, we'll send that over. Hey, we found a discrepancy in your invoice. Can you resubmit it with this correct line? It's always something. There's always a reason, always an excuse. And Dave's realizing it. They're playing games with his money because they can. Dave's subs are getting nuclear. The electrician's threatening to walk off the job if it doesn't get paid today. The plumber's already filed a mechanic's lien. Dave's juggling, robbing Peter to pay Paul, making partial payments just to keep everyone from abandoning the site. Then the developer drops the bomb. They're disputing $200,000 worth of work. They claim it doesn't match the plans. They're withholding payment until Dave fixes it. Dave looks at the contract, the one he signed so fast because he was excited about the $3 million number, but buried in there, a dispute resolution clause. Arbitration could take 6 to 12 months to resolve. 6 to 12 months. Meanwhile, Dave's got $250,000 line of credit maxed, $150,000 owed to the subs who are threatening liens, 0 cash coming in from other jobs, and a developer who's playing hardball and knows Dave's desperate. Month 6, Dave can't make payroll. He starts missing payments on his equipment. His truck gets repossessed. Yeah, that truck he bought when the deposit hit, the one he showed off on Facebook. His sub files mechanic liens on the project. And now the developer really won't pay because there are liens clouding the title. It's a stalemate and Dave's in the middle of it, bleeding out. Month 7, bank calls for the line of credit. Dave's personally guaranteed it. They're coming for his house. His house, where his kids sleep, where him and his wife moved in. I mean, what do you do at this point? Dave files for bankruptcy, and the crazy part, on paper, Dave ran a $3 million business. All right, let's break down where Dave screwed up and what he should have done instead. Mistake number one, he just didn't understand the payment chain. Residential is client to you to subs. Simple, clean, fast. Commercial is client to client's bank, to client's accounting, to architect, to engineer, to inspector, to you, to your subs. It's like 8 links. Every link adds time and potential failure points. Dave thought net 90 was bad. He didn't realize net 90 was the best case scenario. In reality, it's like 120, 150, 180. Honestly, sometimes never. Mistake number two. He abandoned his residential cash flow. The moment Dave signed that $3 million contract, he should have kept taking those residential jobs, smaller projects that pay in 30 days or less. Those jobs are literally oxygen. Without them, you suffocate. Mistake three, he didn't have 6 to 9 months of cash reserves. If you're gonna do commercial, you need enough cash to float 6 to 9 months of expenses. Mistake four, he fell for easy money, subbing everything out. Just sub it out, you're just managing it. Sounds easy? No. When you're a GC on a commercial job, you own every delay, every screw up, every missing document, every dispute. You're coordinating. It's on you. Mistake five, he bet the farm. He bet the whole business on one contract. Diversification isn't just for lead sources or your investment account, it's for a project pipeline. Dave should have had 20 residential jobs in the pipeline, not one $3 million unicorn contract. Mistake six, he chased revenue instead of profit. Dave wanted to say he ran a $3 million business, but revenue doesn't pay the bills. Profit does. Cash flow does. That $3 million job after subs, materials, change orders, delays, disputes, and 180-day payment term, you probably should have netted $100,000 if everything went perfect. But you could have done $10,000, $40,000 bathrooms, netted $120,000, got paid every 30 days, slept at night, and actually seen his kids. And if a project requires you to personally guarantee debt, that's your red flag. Walk away. Look, I'm not saying commercial construction is evil or bad. I'm saying it's different. It's just a different game with different rules. And the TikTok gurus telling you just sub everything out, make your money, submit the bid, they're either lying or they're just like hiding something. Commercial is the gravy on top, not the whole meal. Never the whole meal. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, okay, Amber, I hear you, but how do I actually build that residential foundation? How do I get my systems dialed? I've got you. I created a free guide called the 6 Levels of a Contracting Business. It's in the description. It shows you exactly what to focus on at what stage, from solo operator all the way to a self-sustaining business. Level 1, getting consistent residential leads and cash flow. Build that foundation. Level 6, then you could talk about commercial, but only after you've built everything else as the base. You've got to build the foundation first. You can't skip levels. So grab it in the description below. This guide will save you from becoming Dave. Trust me on that. Stay in your lane until you've mastered it. Then maybe expand slowly, carefully, with your eyes open. A 300,000 here, 600,000 there, $1 million with another developer, 2 million with another developer, consistent cash flow, big lines of credit that are not personally guaranteed. Thanks for watching. Subscribe.